you think of all the thoughts that are going through in your head and you're not stopping them, you're not challenging them, you're not observing them, they're just you at this point, and they're taking over you. And all the thoughts that we have in this conditioned pattern of our mind at this stage of our life is like, we should be a certain place, we should look a certain way, we should be a certain weight, we should be married, we should, all these conditioned patterns that we think that we need, and we're met with all these things, but then they're ruining our life. So how do you think our brain talks to ourselves every single day?
3, 2, 1, action!
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Sinead Says podcast. Today we are working from home. So we're currently in my living room. So if the sound is a little bit different, I'm sorry. We are testing new mics to see if we could, if we want to take the Sinead Says podcast on the road a little bit. Could we maybe not take all my big mics? So we're trying all these little mics. So I'm sorry if it sounds a little bit different. But today we're talking all about meditation, which obviously comes very natural to me. So I just thought I would prop myself up on the sofa and just talk to you about meditation, because I actually don't have a proper podcast. It's just, how to meditate, where do you begin? And I feel like people just would really value that. But before we get into the podcast, I'd like to thank our sponsor, BetterHelp. BetterHelp have been with the podcast and sponsoring the podcast since day one, and they just align with my values so much, because I'm such a vouch for therapy and what it's done for me, my career, my life, my relationships. And it kind of meshes well with the idea of meditation. So like, even when I was in therapy, they would take me through different meditations, and I feel like sometimes it meshes us together as well. So it kind of ties in with this podcast. And not only has therapy helped me with, my own mental health, tools for my anxiety, it has helped me become the person that I am today in terms of self-belief, self-worth, even my business, I owe it all down to therapy. So if you're interested in therapy and you'd like to sign up, then I can't recommend BetterHelp enough. It's so handy. You can just go on your app and you can talk to your therapist there, and you can sort out your calls, sort out your Zoom calls. You can text them. There's also little groupinars in the app, which are really handy. So for example, if you're avoidant attachment style, they sometimes have little groupinars. You can go in there, talk to different therapists, talk to different people. So there's so many tools in there as well. So it's also very affordable, and can't recommend it enough. So if you would like to try BetterHelp, you can go to betterhelp.com/Sinead for 10% off your first month. That is betterhelp.com/Sinead. All right. So today we're going to talk about meditation, and why I got into meditating is probably the first thing. So I got firstly into meditating maybe around 2018, but I'd been hearing about it for about a year. I was in the self-development space. I was studying, reading a lot of autobiographies, a lot of books, and heard the word meditation a lot. But when I was meditating years ago, it wasn't really a thing to just meditate. Now it feels so much more freeing and so much more less taboo. But when I started, I just could not ignore the signs anymore. Like, I was going through a period of anxiety, post breakup, post everything crashing down, just me being in victim mode, to be honest. But when I heard the word meditation, I knew that it was good, but I just didn't really know how to go about it. And there wasn't anything out there to just teach how to meditate, or there was no communities or anything. You just had to randomly go to try and figure this out. So I think my first meditation was probably went on YouTube, tried to do it. Obviously, every single person that I know and all my clients they're always firstly met with monkey mind. And monkey mind is basically rapid thoughts. And the thing about it is, people are met with monkey mind, these rapid thoughts that can turn into negativity or anxiety, because rapid thoughts not getting dealt with can usually turn into anxiety and can get a bit more serious. So I was met with monkey mind, same as a lot of my clients and a lot of the normal generation. We were just met with lots of thoughts trying to meditate, but can't meditate. So of course I gave up and was like, oh no, I can't meditate. It's not for me. I just can't shut off. If you feel like this is you, then keep listening, because there is a way. When you first do your meditation, as a meditation teacher, we know that monkey mind is actually ruling your everyday life. So when you actually bring attention to it in meditation, and people feel the monkey mind within their mind, they kind of get scared. They're like, oh, I can't do this. But that is ruling your life. That monkey mind is ruling your life. You think of all the thoughts that are going through in your head and you're not stopping them. You're not challenging them. You're not observing them. They're just you at this point, and they're taking over you. And all the thoughts that we have in this conditioned pattern of our mind at this stage of our life is like, we should be a certain place. We should look a certain way. We should be a certain weight. We should be married. We should, all these conditioned patterns that we think that we need, and we're met with all these things, but then they're ruining our life. So how do you think our brain talks to ourselves every single day if this monkey mind is ruining our life and we're not stopping to go, okay, where did that thought come from? And why would I think that? Oh yeah, actually, that doesn't make sense for me in my life and that doesn't align with me. You know, in meditation, we do dissect and observe these thoughts and we separate them from being us. So yeah, I got met with monkey mind, and I will talk about that more a little bit later. And, you know, I kept going because I was kind of in the space that I was reading all the books, I was doing all the things, but yet there was still a part of me that like had this high amount of anxiety, heart palpitations, couldn't really sleep. But I felt like I knew what to do. But anyway, I kept meditating and I finally got through all the monkey mind and eventually found this inner peace that I can only explain is like bliss. You don't get this every time with meditating. You don't get this unbelievable wish of, oh my God. But sometimes you get this feeling of like complete peace within you. And when you start removing all those thoughts and becoming an observer and saying no to thoughts and having that little bit more space in your mind, your life transforms in so many ways. So when I found this like inner peace and found like I could meditate after a while, and it took me a little while to get into it and to get into a good habit. But when I got into that good habit, you know, a few weeks, few months went by, and, you know, sleeping through the night, the sleep quality. And as someone who I thought was dealing with insomnia, like just not really sleeping and felt like I was very on high alert. Well, clearly I was just in fight or flight. My nervous system was so shocked from all the stress that I never actually came down from the stress. I just continued on this. And I'm sure some of you will resonate with that feeling of high functioning stress in the body, but then your body just tells you, whoa, you know? Like a good indicator of stress for me is like I would get eczema, I would feel really sluggish, really tired, my skin will be bad, my hair and my scalp and stuff like will fall out. You know, sometimes our bodies are screaming at us, but anyway, my body was screaming at me, and then I eventually found this absolute peace and found myself, found parts of my personality that I thought didn't exist. You know, for actually finding my true self was amazing. And my personality and just, there's just so much I found within that. And I just had to shout it from the rooftops. Like I really needed people to know about this feeling that I had, and that you don't have to live this way. Like before, I used to be really reactive. I used to say things that I regret. I used to fight with my partner, my friend, not really my friends, my mom, you know, like, and then I'd really regret those things that I would say because my emotional brain was taking over my mind and I did not know how to settle it. But with meditation, your brain transforms and it changes, and there's neuroplasticity, and all the different parts of the brain start connecting and working with each other. So for example, when you're a reactive person, your amygdala is in high force, that emotional part of your brain. It's like emotion, react, defense. But when you actually meditate, you start to get better functions of the other parts of your brain, like the prefrontal cortex, which is what I like to call the police officer. It tells you to stop. It says, no, what are you doing? You could go to jail for that. Whilst the amygdala and the emotional brain is just like emotion and pleasure and reactiveness. And then that front part of your brain is kind of like, you know, now, if you do that, then that might happen. If you do this, that could happen. And then you start to go, okay, no. I can't drunk text my ex because that will leave me sad the next day, because your prefrontal cortex is starting to wire. There's more blood flow going to all those parts of the brain. And I just became a far, far better person for it. And there's just so much research. So even when I was studying different types of mental health courses and mindfulness courses, trying to find answers of like how we can help young people with anxiety. There was all this research about meditation, but they were like, okay, there's all this research about meditation and it is proven to reduce anxiety and to help you regulate your emotions. But you know what? That's really hard to teach. So let's go over here. There was all these different things that I was like, wow, what is going on? This is literally here in black and white with all the research that this reduces anxiety, better sleep quality, better relationships, less reactive, neuroplasticity, and also makes your brain younger. That's what I always like to tell people as well. I'm like, this keeps you young because that will like trick them into loving it. Because I'm like, this actually keeps your brain young. But yeah, basically I just went on a mission. I was like, I've been training in meditation. I've been training in meditation since, I can't remember how many years, 5 years. And I have trained in all different types of meditation. So you've got transcendental, you've got Vedic, you've got mindfulness meditation, love and kindness meditation, transformational meditation. And I feel like I have connected all of them into like the new generation. So that's why I was like, no, guys, we can teach this. It has all these amazing benefits. We need to teach it in a way that this new generation can resonate with it, because giving them 20 million mantras and sitting them down, yes, that is proven to reduce stress, but there is an easier way to do this. We can give them transformational, we can give them visualization, we can give them manifesting, we can give them all these different types of meditation in order to calm their nervous system. And once they start doing these meditations, they're going to start seeing the benefits, and then they're going to go down their own path and all do other different types of meditations. How do we start meditating? And I have done so many meditations, and I feel like when I first began my journey of meditation, I tried to do all these things people told me to say, but I actually feel like you just need to connect with the right type of meditation that aligns with you. I firstly started off with a lot of visualizing. Like I loved visual, especially because I find it really hard to concentrate. Like I have a low attention span, and a lot of our generation has a low attention span as well. What I connected with most was complete visual representation that really calmed me, or like full body scans and stuff like that. So that's what I incorporated into the Brave Way as well. Like painting that picture that person doesn't have to think about their thoughts, that they're so engrossed in the visual representation of the meditation that it calms them, because that's what they're focusing on. And people even ask me, like, what is the definition of meditation? And meditation simply is one-pointed, focusing on one thing at one time. And that is why people find so much calmness in things like running, swimming, because after your brain be's quiet for the first few minutes, you find this peace. And that's like meditation. And that's what I always say about the first 2K is like the first 2 minutes of your meditation. You sit down, your brain's like, all these thoughts are popping up. But within 2 minutes or a few minutes of your meditation, and you're like, no, okay, come back, no, come back, no, come back. Just like when you start a run, when you start a workout, your brain is like, no, I don't want to do this. Oh my God, this is horrendous, blah, blah. It's just thought. It's just resistance. And then you just let go of that resistance, start saying no to the negative thought patterns. And then there's just this element of achievement and peacefulness and happiness, and it's just outstanding. And I feel like everyone needs to try it. So yeah, there's all these different types. Like obviously I'm gonna plug my own business. So the 21-day meditation course was firstly invented because I really wanted to help people get a habit, but also love what they're doing, get excited every day. You know, every day they were waking up to a brand new meditation that was going to help them find themselves. Now, my niche in meditation teaching is transformational, because I have the life coaching, the NLP, the hypnotherapy. I have all those things kind of intertwined. I'm like, okay, how can I integrate life coaching and self-development into meditation, also making them calm? You've got all these different types, and then they're kind of in there. So I'd be really proud of my meditations, do you know what I mean? Because I'm like, okay, I'm going to get this, and then I'm going to get that of that course and this course, and I'm going to put them together, and I'm going to write this way. So I'm really, really proud of the 21-day meditation course, and also the membership hub. And you also have to go really easy on yourself. You have to start off small. Like You can start off with 5 minutes. You can start off with 4 minutes. Even at the start of the week, if I've had a busy weekend and I haven't been meditating, I will just start off with just breathe for 5 minutes and just do a 5-minute meditation. And then day by day, I will move it up. So, go easy on yourself. Start off small. Start to become more mindful within your day as well. Like becoming mindful within your day is basically meditation as well. Like when you see yourself being really, really engaged in thought, you can start to take a step back. You'll notice this when you do begin meditating properly, that you will start taking steps back in your day and being like, okay, where am I? And then come back to where you are. Like if you're out for a walk, sometimes you could be thinking on your phone, and then if you're out looking at nature, concentrating on that nature, concentrating on that walk, that is also meditation as well. You can also start for free. You can start on YouTube if you like. I have meditations for free on YouTube as well if you like. Some people really like the structured courses and the community aspect. So I have the Brave membership as well, which is a community aspect. And there's obviously so much more meditations than the 21. There's self-love meditations, manifesting, abundance. There's all different types of sections for what you're feeling on that day. Anxiety, a toolbox of different types of meditations, but you also have a massive community that keeps you going. And we also do challenges there as well. Anyway, so you can start there. You can start for free. You can literally just start by breathing. I like to sometimes make up my own meditation. So if you're in the Brave Way membership hub, there's an everyday meditation. That is a personal meditation that I would do every day. So you can actually make your own. You can also, so basically what you would do is you would firstly just come to all your senses. So even right now, if you want to come to your senses with me, I want you to notice what you taste. I want you to notice what you can see out your eyes. I want you to notice what you can feel. You can maybe feel the blood pumping around your body. You can maybe feel your heart beating. You can also feel the clothes on your skin. And I want you to notice now any sounds. You can probably hear sounds from my end. Sounds from your end. Let them come in and pass through. And you may notice different sounds like water running, people chattering, and just becoming aware of your body dropping into your body. So I like to do that before. I like to really drop into my senses like that. It is also really helpful for first-time meditators as well. It's just good to concentrate on something. I do feel like our generation sometimes concentrating on the breath can sometimes feel a little bit difficult, but you will get into that at a later stage of your meditation stage. So I like to drop into my body, feel my senses, and then I rather bring in a mantra, or I can just concentrate on my breath. And you could just try to breathe for the count of 10. So when I first started meditating and doing different courses, one of the sections is okay, just count to 10 with your breath. And then if you think a thought or you get engaged in your thought, then you just start again. And you'll notice how busy your mind is when you first begin that process. And then when you start doing your meditations regularly, you'll notice that becomes so easy. So you can just do something like that. And then I like to go into so you can just breathe. You can do your body awareness. You can do your body scan. And then I always like to bring in gratitude, blessings, abundance. And I mean, throwing everything in, think of something different from the day before. You could say, I am so grateful for technology today. I'm so grateful that I can do this podcast from my home. I am so grateful for public transport, for this roof over my head. I just like to bring in any blessings, because those blessings are just a way to make you feel abundant and change your negative thought patterns. You'll start looking for the good then. The next section I like to do is my love. So I like to concentrate on someone that I love, or someone who needs strength, or someone who needs prayers. There's a lot of people in the world right now that need prayers. So I like to concentrate on, first of all, bringing someone who I love to my mind and just feeling all the loving emotions about them. And I'll tell you why I do that in a minute. And then I like to visualize giving them love, giving them kindness. It is such an amazing tool for your happiness as well. It's actually one of the most researched meditations, love and kindness, giving other people kindness with your energy to actually increase your happiness. This is a very good tool. You can even do this, guys, just sitting on the bus. Honestly, I always try to fall into things like this. So anyway, so you got that. And then I like to go into visualizing and intentions, and visualizing by week. If I want to go for a year from now, I want to visualize something in the future, something that I really, really want and desire. feeling into those emotions of what I feel. Like, for example, if I want to feel really, like if I want this relationship and I want like a good day with my partner, like I visualize and feel being loved and feeling loved by him. And it always comes into fruition. But anyway, that's just a wee section I like to do. You'll find that in the membership hub. It's an everyday meditation. It's like one I like to do every day. It will raise your vibration. But the reason as well that I always like to talk about cultivating loving emotions within a meditation is because cultivating loving emotions creates loving hormones, and loving hormones creates healing within the body. So, and it's really hard for people to understand why meditation is healing, because they're like, oh, what do you mean? Like, you just close your eyes and blah, blah, blah. But what I like to say is that your body is always listening to you and creating hormones and things in the body, creating hormones in the body based on your thoughts. So a good example of this is, and it's a good trigger point for everybody because everyone kind of laughs at it and they're like, that makes sense. Because if you tell someone, oh, by the way, if you just think loving thoughts, your body's going to start healing, they're going to be like, what are you talking about? What I like to say is when you think about a sexual thought, when you think about the sexual thought of something hot, if you're reading a steamy book, your body gets ready. Your body creates that in your body to get ready based on what you're thinking. Okay? And the same thing happens when you are thinking loving emotions. You create loving hormones within your body, growth hormones, oxytocin, all of these things, these little happy hormones within your body when you think of someone that you love and you concentrate on that. Same thing goes for fear-based thoughts. If we think fear-based thoughts, we then have fear-based hormones creating in the body. You'll feel that fight or flight when you have fear-based thoughts. So that's why it's so important to spend time in your day creating these loving emotions. If you're especially someone who, like me, needs healing hormones in their body to help them. Like I'm a girl who suffers with endometriosis, and I know that meditation helps me drastically. All these things, creating these hormones within the body and letting everything function as they should be. Because let's be real, our generation are in fight or flight or loss. Like we're not the people that years ago, our grannies, granddads would come home from work and they would actually de-excite their nervous systems. They would go on holiday and actually sit on a lounger and just actually relax. We go on holidays and sit on loungers and can't sit for 2 seconds and have to be on our phone, have to be doing something. Years ago, they actually did de-excite. We don't really get that opportunity to de-excite as much, because we have phones. We can come home and we can kick up our fids, but we're watching TV and then we're watching our phones and then we're looking at someone else's Instagram and then we're getting all these fear-based thoughts of where we should be and what we should be doing. And sometimes that creates a fight or flight response and we don't actually come down for that fight or flight response. So more than ever, as a generation, we need to be meditating and falling into these loving emotions and falling into this state. So we're going to talk about some of the challenges that you may be met with within meditation. Number one being mind wandering. And when people mind wander, they get really taken back. They're like, oh, I can't concentrate. Oh, I didn't understand anything you were saying. Like I was really, really distracted. Totally normal. And we have different types of mind wandering every day based on what happens within our life, right? So even someone who's meditating every day, mind wanders, you're supposed to think. The whole point of meditation is to observe. Your mind thinks like your heart beats, it's involuntarily, but the periods of mind wandering is what gets shorter and shorter. And that's how we become more focused, more concentrated, and more aware. So mind wandering is totally normal. The first time you do a meditation, you might not even hear my voice. You might not hear anything. But if you've came back once, twice and gone, oh, no, I should be here. Then you've done your job. You have literally went against your mind wandering, went against the engagement of your thought and came back. So you have strengthened your mind by 1 rep. The more you do that, the shorter the periods of mind wandering are and you're just sharper. Everything in your life is sharper. You become more focused. You react less. You become a better person. You can anything. Like honestly, this is what the name of the game is. So mind wandering is totally normal. But like how quick you come back is like then game, because when you begin meditation, you begin with like thought. And it's like, oh my God, wow. All right. And then the more you do meditations and focus and come back to where you are within those 15 minutes, then your mind gets stronger. And then it becomes thought, 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 thought. Eventually it becomes thought, thought, thought. All right. You have less mind wandering. Your mind still thinks, but you're just like, no. And think about how impactful that is for you in your life. Because if you're someone who has had negative thought patterns and you fall into those and you're not like, come back, where are we? No, where did that come from? Because a lot of the time we do crash in those thoughts and we have a lot of time to reflect and think within meditation. And at the very end, at the very end of my meditations, I just think it to it. So I just let that go, let go of the meditation and just see what comes in and have a little bit of reflection. So yeah, don't worry about mind wandering. Another thing that is going to happen is mind bargaining when you bargain. So basically you'll bargain if you're in meditation and you know that you should be listening to the guided meditation or whatever kind of meditation you're doing. And you're like, oh no, I forgot that I had to pick up that dress for Susie down the road. And you're like, okay, I need to park the meditation. I need to go over to the to-do list and see where I can fit that. No, you're bargaining. You're here for 15 minutes. Most of the time meditations, like if you're looking for a practice, people average between 15 and 20 minutes every day. And that's so impactful just doing that anyway. Build yourself up to the 15 minutes. Then you're only there. So stop bargaining, get back to where you are and focus, because that focus is going to help you with what that to do later. So yeah. So we're at why I did it. We're going through mind wandering, mind bargaining, things that happen in meditation. Sometimes you get like a bit of a mental detox. I won't go too much into that. You get a little bit of emotion coming up because, emotion sort of is trapped in the body. When you sit with your thoughts and sit with meditation, you obviously can create emotion, which is amazing. Like as a meditation teacher, people who cry in your class, it's a thumbs up, because it's creating that release and it's such an amazing feeling. And I haven't even got into the benefits and I'm already 25 minutes in, but the benefits are just really, really outstanding. I have spoke previously about them before, but the benefits are what sort of kept me disciplined, because when you've been studying meditation for a long time and you see the research and you see what this does to your brain and your life, it really does keep you there, because it's not easy sitting down to meditate every day. It really isn't. But when you know why you're doing it and the benefits, you're like, okay, I know this is going to create such a better life for me. I'm going to have better relationships. I'm going to be more emotionally resilient. I'm going to be less reactive. I'm going to be more patient. Like if you have kids and you want to be more patient, like this is perfect. So like the benefits really did keep me grounded into my practice, and it will help you. So obviously you've got your nervous system regulation, and what I was talking about before is like how it heals you and how it gets into your parasympathetic nervous system. I don't want to get into too much science because I don't want to confuse you. I just want to let you know some of the benefits. So basically what it does is, obviously some of you who are in that who want that healing mode like me, if you're in your fight or flight, think about where your blood is. Your blood goes into your limbs because it wants to run. We need all that blood in the organs. If you're someone who has bad digestion problems, we need that blood in the organs. All right. So we want to get into that healing mode as much as possible. And that's what we can do through meditation. So nervous system regulation, maybe we'll do a science talk one day, but we're not going to do that today. And then you've got parts of the brain where meditation can help. So first of all, the hippocampus, which is like where memory is stored and cognitive functioning. And that part of the brain having more blood flow, being able to access it more. A lot of people will even say to me, Sinead, oh my God, I'm having crazy dreams, blah, blah. I'm like, you're just actually remembering your dreams because your memory is so much better. Your memory will be so much better, your cognitive thinking and your behavior as well. So you've got it also decreases inflammation, and also your corpus callosum gets thicker. So that is like the big gooey thing that keeps your left and right brain together. It's fascinating actually, because it actually thickens in meditation and meditators through the research. And that is like showing that it connects your left and right brain. So if you're like an overthinker, right, and you really want to get into your creative brain, like this will start connecting, unwiring all these parts of the brain together so they can fire and wire together. And yeah, so neuroplasticity is another one as well. So when you meditate, you create more neuroplasticity. So you're creating more neurons within your body. They didn't think this was possible. And now all this research is that you can create more neurons in your body and your brain and make your brain so much more amazing and better throughout your life instead of it deteriorating. So when you think of your quality life, especially when you're older, you want your brain to be working and functioning and have the most neuroplasticity. So that is another thing. We could go into like a whole thing about that. So another benefit is finding yourself through valuable insights of your own personality. So what I was telling you about before is that when you first begin and you've got that monkey mind, you've got all those thoughts are not even yours. They're like conditioned patterns passed down from you. When you start saying no to those thoughts and start actually asking yourself within and sitting down, you find who you truly are. And in those spaces where you've knocked out those thoughts and you've let them go, you find yourself and what you truly want. And like in a meditation, you might not have all these epiphanies, but walking down the street, in the shower, you get all these epiphanies about who you are because you're more aware of your own feelings and intuition. You're more aware of what brings you joy. So you can follow that joy. So yeah, finding ourselves. Obviously, concentration and focus. If you're like me and had a very bad concentration and focus, and you there's something you're passionate about, like I'm passionate about meditation, and I created this whole business all because I was able to sit down with my thoughts and concentrate. If I wasn't able to concentrate and focus, I wouldn't have been able to do all those things. So if you are passionate about something, you need to be concentrated and focused enough to get through the nitty-gritty tasks. And that's something that meditation brings. A massive amount of resilience because you're able to have a bit more compassion for yourself, first of all, and you can be more rational in your thinking. You don't have to be taken over by that amygdala, that emotional brain, like, why me? Oh my God. Like that emotional brain is like sending you, but like that prefrontal cortex has more blood flow. And it's like, whoa, calm down, rationalizes the thought, challenges the thought. And that's how you get that. Anyway, raises our vibration. As I said before, thinking, loving thoughts, gratitude, all those things create really amazing, happy hormones with the inner body. And if you do that first thing in the morning, like, come on, we need this. I know it's hard, guys, but like, get down to it. Lowers your cortisol, prevents against premature aging, which is my favorite. Okay, it's not my favorite. My favorite benefit is the pause, which is like that pause before reacting. Like that time between getting information and reacting is so much longer and you've got a bit more time to process. Love that. That's my favorite benefit. But the preventing of premature aging, like that has been, there's loads of research on all the different cells and everything that you generate in your body through meditation, which keep you young. So come on, guys. You know what I mean? Let's keep ourselves young. Obviously, you have less anxiety because you have less levels of cortisol, which releases inflammation, promoting chemicals. And that's when you have, like, this is why meditation and yoga is so good for people like me, like endometriosis. And I always say that I got this, I got endo because it makes me meditate every day because I know it helps me so much. But yeah, I don't want to go too much into so many benefits because I don't want to keep going on. But I did want to answer some of your questions that are here. Staying awake while meditating. People always say, I fall asleep. No. We're not having a nap. You need to sit up. All right. If you're someone who just falls asleep as soon as they meditate, first of all, amazing that you can just fall asleep. Great. But meditating, you kind of have to be aware for it. So sitting up is so important. Like you can lie down or you can sit up. But if you're someone who lies down and sleeps, then you're just sleeping, aren't you? So if you're someone, you can prop up your cushions and get yourself into a good position. There's so many different positions that I teach on the Brave Way as well, because obviously people are trying to find their seat. But once you find a comfortable seat where your back is kind of out, so then, for example, if you try to fall asleep and your head starts to wobble, then you can wake yourself up. Different meditation teachers have different, like every teacher that I've trained under has some sort of different explanation, or like one of them's like drink coffee before you meditate. Don't drink coffee before you meditate. There's all these different types, but like the whole point is like being aware and what works for you. And if you're sleeping, then that's not working for you. So you need to sit up. Okay. So starting my meditation journey, how long should I dedicate to begin with? I just think start off small. So start off 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, and then work your way up to like 15 to 20 minutes. Personally, like my sweet spot is like 18 minutes, 18, 22, just depends. Like I personally, I like to like have a little moment for myself. Then I'd like to do a little guided meditation. Then after the guided meditation, sometimes I just like to have music and just sit on my own. So even if you have like a 10-minute guided meditation, you want to still continue on, just continue on. But okay, the next person's asking, how do you stick with it, especially in times if you're busy? And you know, the worst thing is we say we're busy, but like we're scrolling on our phones, we're watching people's Instagram stories. We have time. It's just a hard thing to do. It's hard to sit down. And that is why you need to know all the benefits and you need to understand why you are doing this, because your why is so important. Like I started because I wanted my full potential. I wanted to stop reacting so heavily. I wanted to be less reactive. I want to be able to sleep. And those were my whys. And I was like, I just have to keep going, because that initial stage, like that first week or two of meditations, like you're just kind of trying to balance thoughts. And then like after that then comes like a little bit of a bliss feel that's like beautiful and amazing. So first of all, find your why. And second of all, finding a time to do it. I always think, for me, I like to do it first thing in the morning, because I will find excuses to not do it all day then. So first thing in the morning, I like to just do it. I honestly just get out of my bed. And if I'm really, really sleepy, then I'll get up and have a cup of tea or whatever. But like if I am up, I can sit on my meditation cushion. It's all set up for me. And I just do it straight away as soon as I wake up. Depending. And you like get yourself a little cozy corner. I think like it works best for me whenever I light a wee candle, I put my music on, and then that automatically puts me in this space of meditation, which is really, really good. And then like if you want to begin meditating at the start, give yourself a little reward after, like do your coffee after. Like it always helped me at the beginning to be like, okay, I'm not allowed to have my coffee until I do my meditation. And I always feel better. Journaling on your meditation, like after your meditation, how you feel, how it made you feel throughout the day. And like you're not going to see these instant results. Well, you probably can, but the world is always a little kinder, and people always think, oh, but like my mind is crazy. But you're not there to get good at meditating. You're there to get good at life, and people's life is always getting better, even if you have a rusty meditation in the morning. I feel like it depends on what day. But anyway, yeah, I like to do it in the morning. Look, if you're a nighttime person and you can stick to it, I always like to say if you should try and do it in the same place and the same time most days, because that will then get you into this really, really good habit. And when you say you're busy, and like I get it, I don't meditate every single day, but I do try my best to implement some sort of rest and digest situation throughout the day where I just have a bit of relaxing time. So I was just checking the time, but yeah, just know that we do have time. I'm probably saying this now, but as soon as I have kids, I'll probably be like, guys, you were right all along. I do understand. And no, I don't understand, because I cannot relate, because I don't have children, because I know that must be very difficult for people who want to meditate and they have children, and it's really difficult. So I can't relate to that, but I will be able to relate to that one day, and I'll be able to tell you the solutions. But yeah, if it's important to you and it's something you really want to do for you, and you want to change, and you want to be a better person, you want to be a better partner, you just want to reach your full potential, then you know what you got to do, guys. Someone asked me, do I always do guided ones, or do I just set a timer and sit in silence? So sitting in silence, a lot of people think that's just what happens. It's not. There has to be some sort of thing to focus on, because if we just sit in silence, if you're sitting in silence, you're concentrating on the music, you're concentrating on the breath. You know, sometimes I like to go to the beach and just concentrate on the waves. And if my mind wanders, I just go back to the waves, go back to the breath. There's always something that they are concentrating on, like a mantra. I really love mantra meditations as well. I will be teaching them in the Brave Way. There is times where I just listen to music and I concentrate on my breath, and those ones are really important. But I feel like doing those as a beginner meditator, it's too hard whenever you're monkey mind. Like you have to try and like guided meditations are so good for beginners, and then also for really finding out who you truly are and asking yourself and getting into your deep subconscious. That's why I love doing guided meditation. I love writing them, because I know I'm going to find a piece of someone there. You know, I'm going to help someone uncover something that they truly want. That's why I love them. How do you maintain meditation routine when traveling, staying with BF? I find that really difficult myself. Staying with my boyfriend is the hardest thing for me to meditate, but obviously we live so close together, so it's not like I'm over there for long periods of time. I just come over here and then I'll just do it here. But it's also asking your partner for help on how to have a meditation seat. He was like, do you want me to set you up a little seat? would you like me to do it with you? And also when you're traveling, it's just like important to know how you're feeling as well. Like if you're feeling like you really want to meditate and you feel like your mind is a little bit busy and you want to clear it out and feel a bit stressed, sit down and meditate. Don't put on too much pressure on yourselves. Like try and enjoy yourself when you're traveling. Like, you know, when I went to Fiji, I don't think I meditated once. I was there like 5 days. I was just so present, you know, I was so present within myself. And then when I came back, when I had to do all my real life admin stuff again, then I was like, no, my mind's too busy. I need to go and meditate. So sometimes it just depends. Like even when I did my silence, I obviously did my training and then had to do a long period of silence, which is like 4 days of just literally meditating for 8 hours a day. No yoga, no exercise, no reading, no technology, nothing, just silence and walking, no exercise. And when you are meditating, like in that course that I did, like the stage 10 of meditation is like your brain is so clear and you know how to say no to the thoughts so much that you barely need to meditate anymore. But that's a different type of meditation, like a Vedic meditation that they had. But when you do meditating for long periods of time or you are in a habit, you just your brain starts getting into this habit and you start to get new neural pathways. So you start to say more positive things to yourself naturally. So you will notice over time that your brain is meditating when you're not actually sitting down. You know, like say, for example, I'm walking around and I'm like, there's a really gorgeous girl, which I looked like her. I'm like, no, Sinead, where are you going with that? Da, da, da. Spinning it around, observe it, right? It's like you're meditating all day and then you can do that. And like you just have this overwhelming feeling of happiness all the time. Well, not all the time, come on. But like you have this control. So what I like to say is it's not about not thinking. It's about being more in control, like being in control of your emotions and your emotions not being in control of you. And that's what's really, really important. I forgot to say that before. So, okay, one more. Can't get back into meditation, not sure why and how to start again. Find a community, find a class, book yourself into a class. That when I feel like I've fallen out, I'm like, okay, I need to book a class. I need to book a meditation teacher, because sometimes it's really hard to be like, today, go sit down. It's like almost very difficult, but remembering your why and taking it easy. Firstly, just sit down and just breathe. Do 5 mindful breaths, focusing on the breath. Just start there. Tomorrow, do 6 mindful breaths. And then work your way back up and know and remember how it feels, and journaling as well, because journaling will help you understand how it makes you feel all the time. And when you know how something makes you feel and you're really aware, you'll continue to do it. So yeah, thank you so much for tuning in today. Obviously as well, like I have a meditation app, I have a meditation course, I have all these meditations. You'll find them in the link in the bio. And there's so many amazing people in the community, and I just love my job so much. I'm so passionate about meditation for people to understand this is an amazing way to live. So if you want to sign up, just go down below and click the link. And thank you so, so much for listening. Oh, also, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a meditation from the Brave Way next week, so you can see what the Brave Way, the new meditation hub is like. So next week there'll be a full meditation for you, so you can try and see if you like it. Okay, bye-bye.